In the world of 2024, travel restrictions have become more complex. Today, we delve into the 10 countries where Australians currently cannot set foot. We'll explore the reasons, the implications, and the intrigue surrounding these bans. Let's dive into the world of travel bans. First on our list, North Korea. The Hermit Kingdom, as it is often called, has a long history of political tension and security concerns that have led to travel restrictions for Australians. The government's strict control over all aspects of society, combined with its aggressive nuclear weapons program, have made it a hotbed of international controversy. The Australian government's travel advisory for North Korea is clear: do not travel. The main concerns are arbitrary detention, harsh penalties for activities that would not be considered crimes in Australia, and the very real risk of a serious international incident due to North Korea's unpredictable political climate. Moreover, the lack of diplomatic representation in the country means that if something goes wrong, Australians have limited options for assistance. It's a tough reality, but the safety and security of Australian citizens is paramount. For now, North Korea remains off limits to Aussies. Next up, Iran, a country rich with history and culture, but currently not a destination for Australian travelers. The diplomatic tensions between Australia and Iran have been simmering for years. This tension, coupled with safety concerns, has put Iran on Australia's travel ban list. There have been incidents involving Australians in Iran which have further strained the relationship. These incidents have raised safety concerns for any Australian considering travel to Iran. The Australian government has been clear. The risks are too high, and the safety of Australians abroad is paramount. Iran is a country where the political climate can change quickly and without warning. This unpredictability adds another layer of risk for any potential travelers. The Australian government's advice? Stay clear of Iran. Until there's a significant change in the political and safety landscape, Iran remains off limits. So for now, and for the foreseeable future, for Aussies, Iran is a no-go zone. Moving on to Afghanistan. A country located in South Asia and Central Asia, Afghanistan has been a region of ongoing conflict for decades. This has resulted in a precarious security situation, which poses significant threats to foreigners visiting the country. The Australian government has therefore imposed a travel ban, advising all Australians against any travel to Afghanistan due to the extremely dangerous security environment. This travel ban is in place to protect Australians from the high threat of terrorist attack, kidnapping, and civil unrest. Moreover, the ability of the Australian government to provide consular assistance to Australians in Afghanistan is extremely limited due to these security issues. Therefore, it's crucial for Australians to heed this travel advice and avoid putting their lives at risk. In addition, the Australian government has also warned that those who do choose to travel to Afghanistan against this advice could face penalties upon their return. In conclusion, Afghanistan is currently a no-entry zone for Australians. Let's talk about Yemen. This nation, located on the southern tip of the Arabian Peninsula, is a land rich in history and culture. Unfortunately, Yemen has been embroiled in a civil conflict since 2015, causing significant unrest and safety risks. The political instability and intermittent violence have led to a precarious security situation. This has resulted in a travel ban for Australians, among other international visitors. The Australian government has strongly advised against all travel to Yemen due to the ongoing conflict and deteriorating security situation. Factors such as terrorism, civil unrest, and a critical level of violent crime have all contributed to this decision. In addition to the security threats, basic services like healthcare and infrastructure are severely lacking due to the conflict. This makes it incredibly risky for any potential visitors. The beauty and history of Yemen are undeniable, but for now, Yemen is a travel spot Australians will need to avoid. Next on the list, Libya. A nation of remarkable history, Libya has unfortunately been gripped by political instability and security concerns, making it a no-go zone for Australians in 2024. The aftermath of the civil war that erupted in 2011 has left the nation grappling with a fragile government, rampant militias, and a lack of basic services. These issues have escalated to the point where the Australian government has deemed it unsafe for nationals to travel there. The constant threat of terrorism, civil unrest, and violent criminal activity has led to a comprehensive travel ban. The lack of Australian diplomatic representation in Libya further complicates matters, as assistance to any nationals who find themselves in trouble would be extremely limited. Such a beautiful and historically rich country. It's a real shame that Australians are unable to explore Libya's wonders due to these circumstances. Until there's a significant improvement in security and stability, Libya is currently off the Australian travel map. Moving on to Somalia. Nestled in the Horn of Africa, Somalia has been off-limits to Australians due to the ongoing conflict and safety risks. For decades, the nation has grappled with civil unrest, making it a perilous destination for travelers. In the heart of the conflict is the Al-Shabaab group, known for its violent activities. This extremist organization has been responsible for numerous attacks, creating an environment of instability and fear. Consequently, the Australian government has imposed a strict travel ban, urging its citizens to avoid all travel to Somalia. Furthermore, the lack of effective law enforcement and the prevalence of illegal activities such as piracy have further heightened the risk for foreigners. The absence of diplomatic relations between Australia and Somalia complicates matters, leaving Australians without any consular support in the country. In the face of these challenges, Somalia remains an intriguing yet dangerous place, shrouded in mystery and conflict. For the time being, Somalia remains inaccessible to Australians. Next up, the Central African Republic. This landlocked country in the heart of Africa has been grappling with civil unrest for several years now. The tensions have been fueled by political instability, intercommunal conflicts, and a volatile security situation. In the Central African Republic, the risk of violence is very real and often unpredictable. The country's infrastructure is severely lacking, with limited healthcare facilities and a struggling law enforcement system. This makes it difficult to guarantee the safety and well-being of visitors, especially in remote areas. The Australian government has recognized these risks and, as a result, has issued a travel ban for Australians. The decision is rooted in a responsibility to protect its citizens from unnecessary harm and danger. So for now, any plans to visit the Central African Republic will have to be put on hold. The Central African Republic is a no-go for Australians. Let's talk about Venezuela, a country rich in natural resources, boasting the world's largest proven oil deposits. Yet it's a land paradoxically grappling with economic turmoil and political instability. The situation is so dire that Australians, along with many others, are advised not to travel there. Australians face significant safety risks due to the political unrest that has swept through the nation. Venezuela's political crisis has escalated to a point where violent protests, crime, and shortages of basic necessities are commonplace. The Australian government is particularly concerned about the safety of its citizens, given the lack of consular assistance available in Venezuela. Moreover, the economic crisis has led to an unprecedented humanitarian situation. Shortages of food and medicine, coupled with hyperinflation, have made life extremely challenging for the locals, let alone visitors. In a nutshell, the political and economic instability makes Venezuela a high-risk destination for Australians. Thus, Venezuela is currently off the Australian travel bucket list. Lastly, Syria, a country once known for its rich history and diverse culture. Syria has unfortunately been caught in the throes of a devastating conflict for more than a decade. This situation has led to a serious safety risk for foreign travelers, including Australians. The Australian government has issued a do not travel advisory, citing the ongoing civil war, high threat of terrorist attack, and the kidnapping of foreigners as significant concerns. The situation is volatile and unpredictable, with areas of intense conflict and instability scattered across the nation. In addition to these security risks, essential services, such as medical facilities and infrastructure, have been severely affected by the war. This means even basic assistance can be difficult to access in case of emergencies. Syria, despite its rich cultural heritage and natural beauty, is unfortunately a place where Australians cannot currently tread. The hope, however, is for a more peaceful future, where the doors to this historic land can once again be open to all. Syria is a country Australians cannot currently visit. And there you have it. We've journeyed through the globe, highlighting 10 countries where Australians find the doors closed in 2024. From the deeply historical yet politically tense North Korea and Iran, to the conflict-ridden Afghanistan, Yemen, Libya, Somalia, and Syria, where safety is a prevailing concern. We've also delved into the Central African Republic with its ongoing instability, and Venezuela, grappling with severe economic and social issues. Each of these nations holds its own unique challenges and reasons for their current travel restrictions. Remember, travel restrictions may change, so always check the latest advice.